Hi, and thank you for joining me in this discussion of icing. We are going to talk about flight planning for icing. Specifically, in this video, we're going to talk about the types of weather information that you need to know before you depart into icing conditions. Here is the list of things that you need to know, starting with freezing level, working away through cloud base and cloud top. Also, you need to look at the underlying terrain or the minimum en route altitude, closest VFR, and then finally the outside air temperature. The freezing level can be obtained from various products. Here is one of them, a graphic that you can see that's very colorful, which is the freezing level panel, which is available at the Aviation Weather Center. But you can also estimate freezing level from constant pressure charts, looking at soundings, AirMet Zulu, also winds and temperature law forecast. You can interpolate the freezing level. And then finally, looking at low-level significant weather prognostic charts. The second item that you need to know is cloud base. And cloud bases are available from various sources. You can get cloud bases from METARs. You can also get them from the ceiling and visibility analysis out at the Aviation Weather Center, going underneath the GFA, the Graphical Forecast for Aviation. Also, you can look at pilot reports, and remember that those altitudes are MSL, everything else is AGL. Forecast of cloud bases can be obtained from the terminal forecast. Remember, those are AGL altitudes, and also the graphical forecast for aviation, or the GFA. As far as the next item need to know is cloud top. Cloud top's really important to figure out if you can get out of icing conditions and on top of the clouds in clear air. And you can get that information either through pilot reports, you can estimate it from satellite looking at cloud top temperatures. You can also estimate cloud tops from constant pressure charts looking at the temperature dew point spread. And then finally, one really valuable source is soundings. And also, you can get forecast cloud tops from the graphical forecast for aviation, or the GFA. As far as underlying terrain and MEAs, this is pretty simple. The reason you want to know underlying terrain and the minimum en route altitude is so that you know how low you can go to get out of icing conditions or below the freezing level. And there are various sources for this information. One, of course, is sectional charts. Sectional charts have those big blue numbers, and those big blue numbers represent the maximum elevation figure, giving you in that square the highest obstacles in that area. For flying under IFR, you can use low altitude charts to figure out your minimum en route altitudes, your MEAs. But also you can look at the MOCA. Remember, along a route of flight, a starred altitude indicates the minimum obstacle clearance altitude, or MOCA. So that could give you an idea how low you can go in that particular area along that route of flight. Closest VFR is the next item on our list. And you can get closest VFR from the graphical forecast for aviation or pilot reports or METARs. In other words, this is information that you need to know in case you need to get out of the clouds and into clear air. Also, you can get a forecast for closest VFR by looking at the low-level significant weather prognostic chart. It gives you kind of a big picture. Terminal forecasts, if you look at several terminal forecasts, it gives you an idea when and where VFR conditions will exist. And then also finally, the graphical forecast for aviation gives you forecasts of VFR conditions. The last item on our need to know list is the outside air temperature. And outside air temperature is invaluable for figuring out the type of ice and how close you are to the freezing level. So there are a lot of sources for outside air temperature, and that can be obtained from pilot reports, from the observed winds and temperature loft forecast, observed winds and temperature loft, the constant pressure charts, and also atmospheric soundings. As far as forecasts of winds and temperature aloft, you can get that, of course, from the winds and temperature loft forecast, whether it be in the textual product as you see here, or in a graphical product. So those are all the items that you need to use whenever you are flight planning. So you should go down that list and make sure you hit all of those items before you depart into icing conditions. I hope you enjoyed this video.